This is a Lexus RX300. In this video, we're installing a new stereo in this car. This car has a stereo that the display integrates the display of the stereo with the display for the climate control and other functions. So this is not a straightforward replacement. We've selected a fit kit from Metra. This kit includes a special module that integrates the function of the climate control. To go with this fit kit, we've selected a basic double DIN head unit. This is what comes in the box. We have the fit kit with the module, and it has a notice on it to upgrade the firmware or software. We have some stereo mounting brackets. This is a pair of brackets. This is a COM module that we'll talk about in a little bit. This is a pocket in case that you're using a single DIN head unit. And then we have some assorted connectors. Okay, that's a lot of connectors. And of course, we have these instructions from Metra, which we'll follow definitely. The first step is to pop out this surround. Okay, and for that we can use one of these plastic tools, or you can use a screwdriver if you're careful. You just get the tool under the surround and you pop it out. Okay, it's hard for me to do one-handed, but you just go around and pop all the clips gently. So we've managed to pop this out completely, and nothing bad has happened. Okay, so we've disconnected the cigarette lighter, illumination, and all these things. So now we have 4 bolts total, 2 on each side. These are the 2 on the right side, and those are the 2 on the left. They are M6 bolts with a 10mm socket. So let's get those out. So with the bolts removed, this unit just comes right out. Okay, and we just have some wires to unfasten in the back, but basically it's out. This is looking in from the back, and you can see the connectors that have to be unplugged. Here it is completely out of the way, and here's a view of the opening and all of the connectors from the back. This is the original unit on the left, and the Metra unit on the right, and the installation requires that we remove these vent louvers and transfer them to the new unit. These are removed by unfastening these little clips carefully without cracking them. So there, I've managed to transfer the louvers without damaging them too much. This is very tricky, and it's a very close fit. If you've been paying attention, you notice that I switched the color of the original unit. That's because I have 2 of these original units here in the shop. So this is going in a beige interior car, so I'm using the louvers from a beige interior. The kit comes with a little bag of hardware. It has some panel clips. These are the panel clips that go on these plastic tabs right here on top. So let's go ahead and transfer those. So there we have all 3 clips in place on their tabs. Next we have the passenger airbag light that comes out of this opening. It goes in here. And we also have the hazard light switch that comes out of this opening on the left and goes in here. So both units have been transferred from the original to the Metra. These slide out to the back and they slide back in from the back. And we've mounted the brackets that came with the Metra kit on the head unit, And for this we've used the screws that were provided with the head unit itself. And we've positioned these brackets such that the head unit will be flush in the Metra kit. Let me show you. So this took a little bit of trial and error to get it, but the unit is flush. Here we've completed the assembly of putting the head unit together with the Metra unit. You can see that from the back, the Metra brackets bolt in to the Metra unit on both sides, or they don't bolt in, they screw in with these Phillips head screws. And these screws are what holds the entire thing together. Now this will use the original mounting holes for the original stereo, which are 2 on each side that the bolts will go through from the front. Next we take a look at the wiring. So we have 2 wiring harnesses that are provided here, and one of them is labeled for nav and the other one is for units without nav. Then we also have a amplifier bypass harness, and we'll get to this one after we deal with this first harness. In addition, we have a wiring harness for a backup camera, which we are not using right now. And we have this communication module. And by the way, I did go to the website to check the firmware of this module to see if it requires any upgrades. And after downloading the software update module and connecting it to this module to the PC, found out that the current version of the software 1.0 is the current version as of this date, which is February of 2022. And I almost forgot to mention, this is the wiring harness that came with the head unit. We also have a wire with a microphone jack and a microphone, and this is for using the phone features. So let's see how these all fit together. Here I've plugged everything into the back of the unit. This connector goes on this side. This connector goes into the communication unit, and we have this long yellow wire that will have to be spliced into the car. This, if you had a backup camera, would connect right up here. And then we have the yellow, red, and black wire. These are the power and ground that plug in to the head unit's connector. So this leaves these white and gray wires from the Metra harness that are not used, so we just tied them off together. And this also leaves all of our speaker wires from the head unit, and they're color coded as standard. We're going to have to figure out what to do with these. Here's another view where you can see everything. You have the harness coming out that plugs into the car. You have the other side of the harness that goes to the stereo. You have another part of the harness that goes into this communication unit with the wire. And you have the harness for the backup camera if you have one. Now I've got everything sitting in position in the car and connected, and I'm going to show you how we wired it up. Looking from the back of the unit, let's zoom in a little bit. We have, then coming out of the head unit, we have 8 wires, 2 for each speaker, that you can do one of two things. You can route these directly to the speakers, or you can route them using the amplifier bypass harness. Okay, so we chose the latter. We're routing the outputs from the head unit to the amplifier bypass harness. Now, the only challenge this presents is that the amplifier is behind the rear seat. So we've routed this loom all the way to that location. Okay, so we've cut wires to the correct length, put them in a loom, and they connect into the head unit on this end. And I'm going to show you the route they take to go all the way back behind the rear seat. We go through the glove box, and then in the footwell and along the door sill, goes under this door sill, under the B pillar. Then it goes under this door sill, the rear door sill, and it comes under the seat to the location of the amp. And here is where the bypass harness plugs in to the speaker harness, and it goes from here to all of the speakers. So again, this is the loom coming from the head unit with 8 wires, 4 pairs. This right here is the bypass harness from Metra, and it plugs in to the standard connectors for that go to the speakers. And ignore this, we had to do some wiring repair previously because some of these wires were chewed up by rats, but you probably, we hope that you do not have to deal with that, okay? And this is where the speaker sits. And to get to this and route this loom, we pretty much tore up the whole back of the car in order to get in here. But it's pretty easy to put back. Here it is, all installed. Let me turn the ignition on. Okay, so the radio and the control unit both come on, and you can turn the AC on or off with this button right here. Okay, so that turned off the climate control. I'm going to turn on the engine. Now I'll go through the climate control a little bit. Okay, so AC is on. It's blowing cold air out of the vents, and we can control the AC either in the manual mode or put it on auto, and then all we have to do is vary the temperature to whatever we desire. So as I go down with the set temperature, it increases the fan speed. If I go up with the set temperature, it reduces the fan speed. Okay, just like stock. As long as it's on auto, okay? So, the radio works as normal Let's pick a different station. Let's try to find a station with some music on it. Okay, so I've verified all 4 speakers are working. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this install. We have the fully functioning AC, climate control, and a radio, and it's up to you really what head unit you choose. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions on this install, please put them in the comments.